All right, so there's the record button, and I will make sure that everyone has access to this via email on the website, everything else. So everyone should have access to that. So we're going to get started for today. So again, welcome. Thank you for being here. My first question that I want everybody to be able to put in the chat is what are the
What
class
are the
grade
class
level
grades
needs
and
that you
needs
may
that
be looking for or needing this morning? And again, for those who will be watching the recording, we invite you to send this email or you can put it in the
which
message chat
your
because it'll
class
be on
B?
our YouTube page. So again, the first question that I have today is just to check who's in the house. What classes do you need? What grade levels? What classes, what grade levels do you need? So anything and everything is open as we look to
Can you
fill
put in the
what
chat
we need for
Alpha
the
2 high school?
2026,
Wait, wait, I got you.
2027 school
Put
year.
in
So
Alpha
put that
2 high.
in the chat. What classes do you need and what's the grade levels? And we'll make sure we take a look at that and find a space and a place for what it is that you may need. So I'll take about one moment, check in my chats really quickly, make sure no one has a question. All right, someone already got that. Okay, wonderful. Let me see in the chat really quickly. And oh, you said summer. You can try to put some in there for the summer. You need something for the summer? Let's see. What you looking for in the summer, Mama? Put it all in there. Oh, okay. Oh gosh. Okay. So we got decide. So those are the things that we need. So I'm going to come back, and of course, I will share this with all of our educators, some who could not be here this morning, and we'll see what can fill in the holes of what you need. And again, those who are watching the recording, feel free to send an email. There's also a survey link that you will have to do the same thing, put your classes in, and you can put a message on our YouTube. All right, y'all. Let's get started. Thank you for that. And if it's anything that you can think of that you continue to need, same things apply. You can put it in the Zoom link while we're here and all the other spaces as well. So what I'm going to do today is very quickly and efficiently give everybody an overview of the whole ecosystem of Yayas Culture Academy and then go into Elevated Scholars Virtual Village, just because I think it's helpful to know what are all the things that feed into the virtual academy. And yeah, so that we have different ways that people understand that you can plug in to the academy. The virtual part is what we spend a lot of times um, pushing and nurturing, but I want to make sure that everybody understands what the full ecosystem is. So sometimes when y'all see me disappear, y'all know I'm not just neglecting, I am running the other parts of Yaya's Culture Academy. So for those that don't know me, I am Kemi Abifarin, Mama Kemi, Executive Director of Yaya's Culture Academy. A quick rundown of where we've been. We started as an arts kind of, I don't like the term electives because culture and arts is not elective. So we started as offering arts, cultural arts to organization, homeschools, and other entities that needed them. So we had these cultural arts package. And then the cultural arts blend into arts education and then all of the academic programming that was needed to help scholars be proficient for their collegiate experience. So, in addition to the virtual academy, there are residencies that are done in all kinds of schools, all levels of schools, as well as now we're adding on children's hospitals. So there are arts infused residencies, that portion of the beginning of what Culture for My Kids used to be, is still there. with the residencies. So now it's very purposeful, it's very calculated, and it's a wonderful blend of arts and education. And that is just out on the road, still with the entities and cultural arts organizations that we started with, collab with. So those are the places where I'm kind of out and about with the young people when the time calls. Then, of course, it's the Calabash Village that we do seasonal. And that's for those who are theater arts, theater and cultural arts. So that's another program that is that we have. That's a seasonal program. We take a young people and let them be on the road and out and about in the community to spread the message of culture. The other Elevated Scholars Academy is what we're here for now, and I'm going to quickly introduce that before we get started. In arts, culture, and leadership, most of the time I work with college students for internships. They'll do things like newsletter, social media. They'll help and learn how to kind of keep things running that's culturally grounded. And sometimes I'll work with young high school scholars to do the same thing. So those are the four major programs that we offer. Curriculum development or our curriculum store will be there as well. And it's not just a store, it is a program because we will be working with, my goal is to work with the next educators in either people who are homeschooling their children or they want to work in culture education. My goal is to work with those group of young people, that population. And so that's why the curriculum development is not just a store, but it is a program to empower the next set of educators while I make my transition into other areas and other opportunities that I want to do now that my own son is done homeschooling. So that in a nutshell, I'm a homeschooling mom. I'm an educator in all facilities, private, homeschool, detention center, university, daycare. I educate in all those spaces as well as a curriculum developer and those type of things. So all things education. So check out the site if you have not, just to see the whole ecosystem. And again, today where we're living is Elevated Scholars Academy. Amari is off for the summer, so you will not see her today, but she is kind of my brain when my brain is doing other things, and she will be with us in the fall. And so now at the Elevated Scholars Virtual Academy, this is a K through 12 experience where it's arts infused, culturally grounded, and we're pushing for scholarship among other things, identity, all of those things. And so this platform is a collection of businesses, educational businesses who come together. We're not a school, we're an educational collective. I call it the marketplace because you go and shop and put everything in your calabash that you need to have in order to support your scholars. And we also are in the business of supporting homeschool collabs and organizations to help them fill any holes that they have in their curriculum, what they're offering to other people. So we support families directly, and we also support collabs and co-ops, whatever micro school, whatever it's called. We want to make sure that our marketplace is designed for everyone who is educating our next generation to just fulfill the needs of what they need to go forth in their future, whether it's college, career, entrepreneurship, any of those things. We want to make sure that our scholars are supported. And so today, what we're going to do quickly and efficiently is we are going to take the time to run down what we have on the list for 2026, 2027. We want to do it early because we want everybody to feel relaxed and kind of gradually tip into the new year because we know we just had a month off from the previous year. And we want to make sure that people are planning while things are fresh. What worked for your scholar? What needed some support for your scholar? And so we wanted just to make sure that we are planning while it's fresh and we don't have to do the mad dash August rush. So this is great for educators and it's great for the families and co-ops and collabs that we will be establishing relationships with. So the next thing that I'm going to put in the chat is all of the things that I can think of that you may need for today. And so this is the document that I will be working with all summer, that educators will be working with all summer. This will be the one-stop shop for all things Yayas Culture Academy. And so, one thing I didn't, I'm going to go back to this really quickly before we get started for today. One thing I didn't mention is the fact that it's called Elevated Scholars Virtual Academy. So, why is it called Elevated Scholars? And why is it spelled that way? My brands for when I do professional development and everything else is the Elevation Education and Innovation Center. And so elevation, Eluvation, is the different level of which we pour into our scholars. I've had former interns, I've had adults who have kind of gotten these high positions. They thought they had achieved the things that they wanted to achieve, but yet there was no fulfillment in it. They wanted to do something else. And so what we do with my brand of elevation is that we don't just teach people how to obtain the skills to rise to higher levels. We teach scholars and everyone else to tap into their inner passion, their inner core, their inner spirit to make sure that what they are aligning for them is the right path. Because in Ifa culture, if you prepare for everything, Ajay or wealth comes to you. So if you're prepared, if you are centered and you're grounded in what you do, then the path that you choose will work for you. So that is why it's called Elevated Scholars Academy, because again, we're teaching the whole scholar from inside to out to make sure they're not just like chasing the money, they're not just chasing the notoriety, but they are aligned from inside out. And so that's welcoming everyone to the Elevated Scholars Academy. So on the sheet right here, again, bookmark this sheet. You will have it the whole summer. Educators will be adding to it. And these are kind of the things that you would need should you decide to align your 2026, 2027 with us. So a few things to note before we get into the classes. The full class course catalog, I'm going to work with the educators to have a booklet done by July 15th, even though we're giving you a video version today. But you will have a full booklet. If new families, the Sacred Space application is here. Short application, no fee, no application fee. Then I always do a new handbook. The handbook has been updated. So even if you are a returning family, please look at the handbook. There is African intelligence versus artificial intelligence policy in there. And so I want everyone to be clear, scholars to be clear, families to be clear of our expectation of African intelligence in this sacred space. The tech fee link is there. I'll talk about that in a moment. Overview of courses. If you are not ready to select today, I have linked the overview of our courses in this presentation. So you may feel free to look at it here. It has all of the courses that we will have. So it listed here as an overview for those who are interested in starting to select your classes as soon as possible. It is also listed here, and this is kind of like what I would say would be your action form. When you're ready to go forth and have and let educators know of your intention or your interest to enroll. This is the action form. But if you just want to look, you're browsing, trying to get to know what's available, you do have that presentation and there's the action form. Any educator that you need to contact or see, get in touch with, I've put that master list here. Additionally, is our school calendar and the educational needs survey. So you can bookmark this and come to it. You're not going to need everything today, but as we go forward, just in case you can't get in touch with me right away, I have put all of these things here for your view, for your access. And then again, when you're ready, the action form is here. And then once you put your information in, it will take you to a course selection for all of these courses that you see here. All right. So now at this point, we're going to jump into the course selection for the year. And at that, through this journey, I'll have the educators come and introduce themselves. So let me copy this sheet that I just posted again for someone who may have come in. So y'all might see me put this sheet in here a couple of times as I hear a ding, because I don't want to leave anyone out. And also, if you have questions, feel free to unmute or put it in the chat because I want to make sure that everyone is feeling supported at this time. All right. Any questions before we start? We're about to get into the courses. Just to probably get excited about what. Oh, our educators have been working hard, y'all, in AP classes and training. Each one teach 10 training, asynchronous videos. So our educators have really been working hard. They did not even get the full month off to relax and debrief. And so I applaud them for being here this morning and letting you know what their plans, what their babies are that they're birthing this summer. So again, yeah, with the birthing this summer to get ready for you all in the fall. So again, I'm going to put, or maybe I can pin it, but you all still can't see it if you're coming late. So I'm going to put the document for today. If you are just joining us, you can put in what grade levels and what classes are you interested in? Because just in case we don't have that exact class, I can look and see how we can make your needs happen. I do have access to I had an intern, wonderful interns. I do have access to all of the state requirements for all 50 states for graduation requirements. And so whatever it is that you think you need, I can verify with my list and let you know how to get there. Again, our goal is to support. Okay, no questions. I don't see any questions in the chat. Does everybody have the sheet? I think I put it in a great time. All right, so far I am seeing in the chat Algebra 2, ELA Science, 11th grade ELA, History, Psychology. I see science classes. Oh, I think we got. Hey, so it looks like we do have a lot of what you all are looking for. And again, at the end, I'm going to come back to that. All right. So now we're going to get into the course overview. The course overview. I'm going to run them down about 2 to 3 minutes per course. Then I'm going to put you all, we're going to have the opportunity for a breakout room. If you want to meet with those educators who are here and you have questions about their course, you may do so. If an educator is not here, you have the educator master list and you can reach out to them in reference to questions. Then once we come from the breakout rooms, then I'll tell y'all next steps for this year. How do we get started? How you can get rolling so that you have, again, a gradual transition into 2026, 27. Then I'll take any questions. All right, y'all. So the first thing that's on the list, the first class that is on the list that I want to really quickly talk to you about is early elementary. So early elementary, we're talking about K through second grade. For that, of course, there are no virtual classes for that. That is a supported class with parents. That's a supported curriculum with parents. And for that, we tried the virtual last year and working with Mama Andrea, thank you so much. It was decided that there would be a book. We're going to actually do a book form of it. And so curriculum development is my PhD special, and that is where I'm going to spend my latter years in education doing PhD work. Doing curriculum development work. And so I'm going to take some of the curriculum that I have, I'm taking it offline and I'm putting it in the book. There was a news article where some parents were requesting some hands-on activities in a school district. And we're going to do our best again at Yayas Academy to have more of a hybrid. I was very impressed with Mama Adia's science lab class doing hands-on with that's like the frogs. And so I liked it. I enjoyed sitting beside my son and having that hands-on activity. So one of the goals that we're going to have this year is to incorporate more of the hands-on because I liked it. I missed it. And so we're going to go back to that. So for those who are lower elementary, the curriculum book is going to come out after this month. I have a wonderful set of interns who will start work on Monday. I'll begin work with them as they begin to take the lesson plans that I have and they will begin to put it in a book. It's going to be in a book form available to be published. And so I'm excited about that. My second set of curriculum books will be published for lower elementary, upper elementary, and middle school. It will be published next month. And so that'll be available to those who have lower elementary or really to anyone. So that's something that we will have out there. And really quickly, to quickly go over what the lower elementary is going to look like. I will give y'all the overview. Of course, even for my little ones, cultural reflection, social emotional growth, academic excellence, cultural preservation, all of that will be there. They have a multi-year journey, roots and identity, our world, our voices, all of those things. So it's culture embedded into everything, and it is interdisciplinary. So all of this will come in a binder form for the parents. Then there will be individual instructions. There will be videos that support it, and they will have that chance to blend identity and literacy. So I'm very excited about that. Even within that course, again, it's interdisciplinary. So there will be math, there will be science and our story in there, and there will be 4 years, the K through two, and then there will be 36 themes in five subject areas incorporated in there. So that book will come out at the end of this month, and I'll have it available for publication. And then I will work with parents to talk about what does it look like when how can I support you in this journey of going through these things with your scholars. And so with that, they have books that they can use from the library. And so it's really a very efficient way for scholars and parents to get into that lower elementary journey and have everything's integrated. And so that will come out. Any questions about that? I can answer those today as I do have more um, information on it and a glimpse into the first lesson. And so I know most of you are here for the older age. So that's just my blurb for anyone that needs the lower elementary. That's what I'm working on for that. For upper elementary, y'all, for upper elementary. And I am going to let some of the other educators come and kind of talk about what they'll be doing for the upper elementary. And so if you have that page, you will get to see it, all of these classes there. For upper elementary, we will have the Calabash Scholars cohort. I know I did that in person last time, but this will be kind of run similar to the lower elementary, in which there will be a curriculum book, so all scholars can move at their own pace. And then we will have cohorts where we meet to showcase. Last year, the scholars were at very varying places in literacy, and I felt like more of an individual journey will help to support them, but they'll still come and share stories and laugh and play games. So that part will be in there. For math, we will have Afro-numeracy, Mama Imani. I'm going to let her talk a bit about that. And then Mama Najay. Um, Science, y'all asked for science. Mama Jay is in here bringing science in our story. So I'm super duper excited like for that. And so I'm going to pass it over to Mami Imani and then we'll follow up with Mama Najay.
Jumbo. Si Jumbo. Can everyone hear me?
Honey,
Yes,
Jumbo.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So, are we just giving a quick little blurb?
Just a quick overview. Take us into what the classroom going to look like.
Yebo. So, Afro-numeracy. Last year we had a group of wonderful third graders who have completed the course and are transitioning, you know, becoming fourth graders. So, um, the course will be scaffolded, and I'm really excited because we are going to start together every day, even though some, as we progress, of course, the third graders may not necessarily be doing everything that the fourth graders or the fifth graders are doing, but they may get to see a sneak peek for what's to come. So I'm excited about that. We will be doing a lot of hands on foldables, manipulatives, art, incorporating history, because math is a language, and we're just learning how to speak another language, and it's our language, and learning how to see math everywhere and every day and in every season. So we will definitely doing a lot of hands-on, doing a lot of art, doing a lot of building that firm foundation of arithmetic, of uh, qualitative as well as quantitative analysis. Also, just incorporating it into our family story. So it's not just going to be about your scholar going to math class and then you checking in with them. They're also going to be checking in with you and getting your math story and getting other family members' math stories as well. Because, for instance, this year they were teaching me. I didn't know that you could do your multiplications on your nines, and everybody knows they nines. I don't know about y'all, but growing up, nines were kind of tough for me. And so one of my scholars, she her uncle said he loved his nines for multiplication because they're getting stronger in their multiplication, and taught me how to do nines on my hands. So it's a collaborative experience. It's a collaborative class that we will be journeying together in Afro-numeracy. So thank you everyone for being here, and looking forward to this school year. Asante.
All right, move. Okay. Mama Najay, are you here?
Indeed, I am. Can I have just a few minutes to show the presentation?
Yeah, you could go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to go overboard with it. So, Mambo VP, everyone. My name is Mama Najay, and I will be doing science as well as our story. And for science, our course is called The Land, Our Response Ability to Nature. This is a course directly curated to create stewards of the land, third to sixth grade. So it's younger group as well as the older group. And the difference between the younger group and the older group is the intensity of our projects. So some of the core information will be the same between the two, but my expectations of your research will be different. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I am a cultural educator as well as a nature lover, and formerly a horticulture therapist or therapeutic horticulture that is using the land in order to what people would call therapize, but in order to restore your soul, you have to go to the soil. And so let's just talk about it a little bit. What do our children know about the red, black, and green flag that represents our World African Republic? We know brilliant Black children know red is for the blood, black is for the people, and green is for the land. These colors show us our responsibility to the blood of our ancestors and to the people of our nation. But do our children know their responsibility to the land? So the land, our responsibility to nature, is a course designed to guide our youth to the soul-fulfilling ritual of tending to the soil Having a deep reverence for nature can become a lucrative career, a nation-building movement, or a healing habit that helps their mental wellness afloat. After completing this course, each learner will have a strong foundation on their path to Aridu Ile, or stewards of the land. This course was developed as an intensive Stream Spirit curriculum. Stream Spirit is a purposefully political and intentionally spiritual curriculum for the culture. S is for sovereign science, T is for training technologies, R is ritual reading, E is exploratory engineering, A is arsenal art, M is mathematics. Each letter of the acronym will appear as a project this year that may require assistance from your village to complete. And I have more information. I heard that we'll be making slide or a booklet to give out to the parents, so we won't spend too much time moving forward. I'll go straight over to the Our Story presentation. This one I'm super excited about. This is war chronology, realigning Ma'afa timelines. So war from Mama Marine Ba'ani, who is so very dear to my heart. She's put this acronym out as World African Republic, as well as World African Revolution. For this course, we're going to be using World African Republic to demonstrate to our youth that Africa goes well beyond one continent. It is not just about the diaspora, it's about the historical settlements that we have as African people across the world. Okay. So this image right here, which you may have seen before, is what kind of sprouted the course. Everyone should be familiar with the term Maafa, which is a Kiswahili word that means just the great disaster. And they use it for like a hurricane or something terrible that caused a lot of strife within the community, but we use it as the great disaster, which was tearing apart our union with our land, our union with our community. And oftentimes people will see this image here of American slavery started 1619, and then 1954 came, and then segregation, everything was over. We're in the green light. We're good to go as African people. We're free now. And I think this is completely irresponsible to be teaching to our youth. Just not it at all. 1619 is not the start of our struggles of Ma'afa. Juneteenth was not the end of enslavement within the states or even, across the world. It was not the end. And green is a malicious attempt to pacify our efforts towards freedom. We tell the youth that we're free now. What left do they have to do? They think that they're free. They think that their efforts are gone. The voting rights was, we did it, we're done. And that's not the case at all. So this course is going to be teaching that our story is cyclical. It's all intertwined. It's not just, the start and the beginning. It's not a linear thing. Truth is power, and knowledge is a tool of reclamation. Just a little bit what I said before, course expectations, elementary, the roots group, build note-taking skills, develop accurate R story concepts, and middle school, the ascendance group, build research skills, develop compassion for diaspora family, and synthesize Sankofa-centered solutions for the World African Republic. Okay, and this will also be Stream Spirit curriculum, meaning that there will still be projects aligned with Stream, and we will be directly tapping into our spirit as individuals. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you all. Thank you so much for the time, and stop sharing so we can move forward.
Mo Dupe Asante, so much for
Mo,
that.
mo, mo.
Excited to have you. Okay. So that is our upper elementary. And again, once we finish running through, you will have a chance to breakout rooms so that you can go and ask the questions that you need to ask from the educators while you are preparing for your next steps. So moving on to middle school, quickly on your sheet, you will see that there are two groups of middle school classes that you have there. And I have, let's see. Okay, so the rites of passage will be the DIY cohort, just like it was with the lower and upper elementary. They will have a curriculum book that they'll still go through all of the skills that we've been talking about, all of the technical skills that they need to have. The scholars vocabulary, reading, writing, thinking, the foundational skills that would make their future high school skills just solid. And we do that through the lens of good character and leadership. So that is the DIY cohort. I'm gonna ask Mommy Imani for math roots. Come back around. Mama Sydney, when I talked to her this morning, she was like, the baby just went back to sleep. And so it was like 7 for her. So she said, she was gonna send me for her class for middle school. For that middle school class that she has on there, let me pull it up. For her middle school class, the intro to Saku for middle school, she said it's going to be an introduction to major warrior scholar ancestors and their work to heal our minds. They'll be able to critically read psychological texts, identify injected oppression, and apply tangible solutions to counter injected oppression within themselves. So that is what she has for the high scholar level. I'm going to put her class in there. And again, her intro to Saku description. Information is on the educator sheet. If you want to reach out to her in reference to that, then I will jump over to Mommy Imani to talk about her class. Then following that, who else do we have on the middle school? Mama Najay already told you what the middle school expectations were for that. If you wanted to add anything else, please let me know, Mama. And then Mama Erica with the Melanin Matters for the middle school level. All right. All right. So Mama Imani, we are on you. Oh, there you go. I didn't know if you heard me. I saw it was a scholar in the background.
Okay, so I'm just doing a quick little overview for math roots. I had one for Afro-numeracy. I'll put that link into the chat. So math roots in motion, it's leading to the foundations, culminating to the foundations of pre-algebra. Um, it's covering grades 6 through 8. It's Afrocentric mathematics program where scholars discover that mathematics is a language of patterns, problem solving, creativity, and innovation, and it's rooted in our culture and built for excellence. So this class is mathematics with purpose, as we are building confidence, uh, building critical thinkers. We are connecting to life in our community. We will be doing creative and collaborative works together during the school year. This is an overview of what we will be learning. It will be a full spectrum of mathematical concepts from numbers foundations. And for those who have taken, their scholars have taken uh, Afro-numeracy, you'll see that it's a repetition. It's always a repetition. You know, number foundation, number sense and place value, rational numbers, dealing with fractions, decimals, and percents, geometry and data, as well as algebra readiness. So algebraic expressions, equations and inequalities, learning how to do the correct order of operations to solve the expressions or equations. So in grade 6 and 7, again, we're building the strong foundation. As with third grade, scholars develop mathematical confidence through the scaffold instructions that honors where they are and builds towards where they are going. And this will include that they will receive in this guided practice, they will have what we called mathcabulary. We try and move away from using Eurocentric words. And some may be familiar with the Freyer model, however, we call it mathcabulary for our vocabulary. And we also infuse art, and they will come away with an e-portfolio with the projects that they've completed each quarter. In grades 8, it will be project-based pre-algebra. Grade 8 scholars apply mathematics through authentic community-centered projects that develop real-world problem-solving skills. So we will go into a little bit into financial literacy, budgeting, saving, economic empowerment, community data, analyzing local data that matters to the scholars, looking at architecture and design, looking into STEM and robotics. If I'm not mistaken, Baba Mugwagwa is going to be offering a STEM course this school year, and looking into business and entrepreneurship. So we learn by taking Inkaboshly notes, which they start learning how to take actually in elementary, which is begin, but we learn how to take work on their handwriting and taking Inkaboshly notes, which incorporate having a header, having key ideas, detailed notes, examples, and a drawing portion, so that it's covering the multitudes of different ways that you learn, as well as a summary of what they've learned at the bottom, so that they can easily find the different topics that they are needing to look over or review. Again, we have mathcabulary. We definitely will cover celebrate ourselves and our story and our history of mathematics. They will have a e-portfolio, always including family. They may have actually record themselves teaching to not only a friend, perhaps a parent, or even a grand or a great grand, a mathematical concept. We will always have presentations during the school year. And these are some of the ideas that I have for the school year. It's either having an African-centered math fair, participating in a STEM or robotic fair, having a math roots showcase, and or an e-portfolio celebration for the school year. And so our scholar's affirmation: I am a mathematician. I think with purpose, I solve with confidence and grow through perseverance. Math roots commitment: as a scholar, we will show our work. Every step matters as it tells a story. We will ask questions. Curiosity is the engine of discovery. We will learn from mistakes, errors, or opportunities, not obstacles, and support one another to rise together as a community of mathematicians, and will honor our legacy. We carry the mathematical brilliance of Africa forward. That's it.
So Mook, that's our middle school math. Oh, Mama Erica. Are you there, Mama Erica?
I am, if you'll give me just a couple of minutes, I am. I got my times wrong, so if you'll give me just a couple of moments. I can explain a little bit about Melanin Matters. I won't be able to share anything right now on screen, but Melanin Matters is our middle school biology, life science course. And it is a wonderful course that shows our scholars the importance of melanin to life, and how it's more than just, on our skin, but that it's in all of our body systems and it's in all of our biological kingdoms. And so we will be exploring where melanin is and what melanin does, particularly in us and in the world. We do science projects. We participate in the NOBACHE, National Organization of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers, K through 12 science fair, virtual science fair. So that is really open to every scholar at Yayas Academy. It is a free virtual science fair, and you'll get more information about that. In addition, we will be working on projects learning about our body systems and where melanin shows up and what it does. We connect that, of course, with our families and our communities. And it is just really a wonderful course. The scholars are very excited how we use melanin in to enhance our melanin in nutrition, in healthy lifestyle. So that is the Melanin Matters course for 6th through 8th. We also do research projects, and so that's our 6th through 8th Melanin Matters course.
All right, middle school. And Mama, Najay, did you want to add anything else for the middle school? But are you anything else for middle school thoughts? I think you covered everything, but I'm just checking.
No,
Just
I covered everything, but I did kind of overstep because I mentioned that the land was going to be both elementary and middle, which I had originally planned for, but I saw somebody already has something for science, so that's why I didn't write that for both of them. So, yeah.
so there's okay. We gonna talk. We gonna talk. All right, because you're the land, and I don't see a problem.
Right,
I don't
right. Because
see I don't see a problem with it, Mama.
exactly,
Okay.
because for us, we did earth science before, and so that land, for those that have already taken Melanin Matters and are still in middle school, that
Mm,
land would be very good for them to take.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then I hold that true then.
Yes. Well, all right. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, y'all. So now we move up. Let me make sure. Let me look because I get excited. I don't want to leave out anyone. Okay, that was it. So that was middle school, elementary, and middle school. Now we are moving into high school, which also has some additional new programs that we're excited about for the scholars. So first, we'll start with science and mathematics. For the mathematics, we do have the same Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2. So the math is still there, as well as with the STEM. And the STEM part is the mental math and robotics. So that's the additional part that we will have to the math. Baba Mugwagwa's information is on the sheet. And of course, when we have the curriculum book, all the course info will be there. That curriculum book will be out by the 15th. So that covers math, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Robotics, and Mental Math will also be offered this year. And so with that, I'm going to move to Mama Adia, Science, Biology, and Earth Science.
Greetings, everyone. Machio, Jumbo, Salbona, many, many, many things. So let's see. So last year, and I won't overstep because I heard you discuss it, yeah, Kemi. But I won't overstep for Mama Erica. There's a differentiation between the biology with labs that I'm offering and the AP biology that your students have the opportunity to take if that's what if they're doing the capstone AP degree. So, or diploma. So the biology with labs, let me share. Find it. Okay. So the goal with biology with labs is to make sure that we realize we are a part of nature. We are not separate. And so we have labs that um, connect to the different things we are covering in biology, but everything we are covering in biology has to do with us being able to live better and be better stewards of the world around us and to recognize the connections between us and everything around us. So just a couple of examples of some of the lessons. We had done a lesson on nutrition, digestion, and absorption. We looked at different vitamins and things that were necessary for our bodies to build. Discussed the process of digestion and processing both food and those different vitamins and sources. And then there's a game that we played in class. Where's my link? We were talking about how the United States looks at nutrition and what a balanced meal is supposed to be and how that has changed. But we also played a game that I don't know where the link is, but it's called Fix My Plate. And it looks at how food is how diets are actually balanced in other countries. And then we were discussing why they would be different. And looking at the nutrients that are in other places, the needs that are met nutritionally in other places. So that's that. Hold on, I'm trying to get rid of this one and pull up another one because there's a goal to link to the last one. Okay. So even with, we dealt with, hope you all can see it because I'm pushing all these buttons. We dealt with the nervous system. Are you up? Okay, great. We dealt with the nervous system. We looked at our central nervous system and our peripheral nervous system. We looked at the sympathetic and parasympathetic system, our fight or flight, our rest and digest. And then in connection with this, at the end of this class, we actually did yoga class. So we did breathing and we did breath work and movement at the close of this class. So making sure that we are making those connections between what we can actually do to assist our nervous system and how it functions. And real quick, and then one of them connects right to earth science. We get out of this one. Okay. Okay, so we had one on plant nutrition and adaptations. These are samples. This was one of the labs that we did where we were ooh, my brain lost the word, but we were um copying the process of photosynthesis so that the children could see what would actually happen when how the spinach leaves in this case reacted to sunlight and carbon dioxide and how oxygen was created in the leaves. So that gave us a chance to actually watch um, a small version of photosynthesis and go over what we had actually discussed. So this was our lab and breaking those down. This was looking at what the plants actually need to complete that process. And again, connecting that to the importance of us eating things that actually are bringing light and oxygen and nature to our bodies, not processed things. Let me get rid of this one. And then the earth science that we'll be studying, because there is a connection in biology. The earth science that we'll be studying will be using Nana George Washington Carver as our entry point. And so, along with Mama Erica has been a magnificent champion of melanin studies for not only my children but for me as well. And so, in over the summer, my studying of with each one teach 10 of melanin will inform both biology and earth science. And when it comes to Nana George Washington Carver, he has done one of the places we're studying where melanin is present and does big jobs is in fungi. So that is something significant that George Washington Carver has worked on. This was one of the experiments we did when it came to fungi, looked at their impact on life. Um, More discussion about various types of fungi and what they do, how the fungi will communicate with plants nearby, how the trees and other plants around them take care of each other, where we see them in our lives, where they are beneficial. I think on the first previous page, I looked at antibiotics. And so even looking at how one of the things that the Magimoyos have, I say that like everyone knows, but that the Magimoyos are doing each one teach 10. And one of the things that they have spoken to us repeatedly and to our children who attended Aya was that oftentimes parents will look at math and science and say it doesn't have any bias, it doesn't have any discrimination or racial ignorance embedded in it when it very much does. And so in this lesson in biology, we looked at Jagadish Bose and George Washington Carver and the things that they had already proven and presented in science that took so long for science to catch up with because of their background, who they were, the fact that their education and what they proved included community, that it was separate from the way that Europeans consider science to be valid. So that will move into earth science, and we will deal with earth science springing from those places. So I pray that was as concise as I could get it, and it's still developing over the summer. Thank you, Ia.
Mo, 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 mo. Okay, so we will come back to Mama Erica in the AP program. We got a whole program, y'all, this year. We got a whole program. So we will come back to that in a moment. There are two other classes, so dupe, Mama Adia, for all that you have offered. Amazing. Science is the area that I love, but it's like, that's above my brain. So I love it when y'all put it, it's so applicable, and I just love it. I get excited. Between that and the land, I'm excited for science this year. All right, y'all. So before we go in the to the AP program, there are two other high scholar classes that are there. Number one, there is a DIY asynchronous that Abiona has done for art. This is kind of do on your own. Um, so I'm going to put that in there. That's the video for her DIY art class that she has. I think is maybe like 8 lessons. So that is something that someone can take asynchronously. And then I'm going to have Mama Asha explain in a few moments her AP art class. Let me say it again. AP arts class. So I'm going to have Mama Asha explain that in a moment. But these are just a quick little, and I think this is just basic drawing, African characters. That's what she has there. And then for Mama Sydney's high school is a BB Fahodier research methods. I'm going to put this description in the mail. So high schoolers have a lot to choose from. And again, our goal this year is to open it up to collabs, to let collabs choose what they need. And so that's why the course offering is expansive because we want to make sure that homeschoolers across the nation have this opportunity. And I'm getting ready to talk more about the AP program. So I believe that's it for the non-AP classes. Let me check the link one more time because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So I am going to share my screen and run through these really quickly so y'all know what the options are. So I'm already did biology labs, earth science. I talked about the math sequence, and we also have robotics in mental math. We're going to come back to Mama Erica. And so now, and Mama Erica will talk to the Each One Teach 10. So that is coming up. I did not leave that off. She's going to talk about the Each One Teach 10. So now let me talk to you all quickly about the AP Capstone Diploma program. So number one, you have heard there's a lot of discourse about AP versus dual enrollment. And so now, having taught my first semester on the college level, I feel confident to add to that discourse. So number one, they're not going to let us have a dual enrollment for all kinds of reasons. So I did try for those who are interested, but I am willing to support families who want to do that option. Now, the reason why I just came out of training and a lot of other educators just came out of training, with the guy who did the training, he's been there since the beginning, and I can attest. AP prepares the scholars for college, whereas dual enrollment is great. You're guaranteed the credit. However, because of the challenges that college professors are taking, regular those level courses are not as rigorous as AP. And I understand why. Our scholars, unfortunately, are coming into the collegiate arena with a lot of challenges in literacy for all kinds of reasons. And what I have seen and what I've been asked to do at my college level to accommodate for those challenges, my AP scholars have written circles around my English 102 students. And it's because they're coming to college with not as many of the skills. And again, y'all know I worked in a public school, and every English teacher is not teaching the skills true to form. And so that's the reality of where we are. So, in light of everything that's coming down politically and everything else, I wanted to make sure that there was a strong foothold into the collegiate experience. And I found that the AP program was a great way to do that because they're definitely getting the skills. They're definitely getting the skills that they need to exceed and soar. And even on some college app, they ask you, did you take AP seminar? It's embedded into the app. And as well as some schools are kind of using that as a defining marker. So I want to talk really quickly about the AP seminar or the AP Capstone Diploma, which is what we will be offering now at Yayas Culture Academy. So the AP Capstone Diploma, again, is listed on the Common App, where scholars is seminar and research. So all the things that we regularly do in an English class or a high school course, but it's seminar and research put together. And so the diploma program just says that you take AP seminar, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, for a full year, and then you spend the next year doing a research paper. Once you do that, you already have the AP certificate, which is what's listed in the on your Common App and all your applications. To get the diploma, you just need to take an additional 4 AP classes throughout your collegiate experience. And that will give you your AP diploma, which is you'll get the seal on your diploma. And then colleges will know, like, you're ready. You're really, really ready. And to just not to say public school, but sometimes in homeschool circles, I have seen as well that some of our scholars are they don't necessarily have the literacy skills that I would like to see to say you're going from homeschool to college. So we want to make sure that we have that jump on there. Unfortunately, we didn't find chemistry. Okay, I was looking at Bible Cloud's message. So what I want to say with this is we're doing AP our way, y'all. We're doing AP our way. We've stressed and we had the conversation among educators. Don't take anything that's contra to your teaching pedagogy, your teaching philosophy, and that does not align with what you are already doing. And so they've been in training. I think Mama Imani is the last one to go to her training next year. And I mean, next week. Mama Imani is the last one to go to her training next week. And then, y'all, we are ready to put into place the AP Capstone Diploma our way, making sure it's culturally centered, making sure that it's African centered. And y'all, we're ready to be that gateway of a surety for our scholars across the nation. And so just to let you all know, of course, AP Language and Composition is what I did last year. That will be synonymous with an English 101 class. I mean, 102. 102. And Janelle could probably tell y'all, yes, definitely was. So the AP language is the one that'll be synonymous with the second level, the second class that all college students have to take. Everybody has to take English 101, English 102. And so for our scholars, AP language will be that English 102 that will satisfy, they will develop those skills where they will soar through that first year level of English in collegiate class. African American Studies was a doozy. So we are bringing that back. I've been in classes, been studying, been seeing how we can modify that class. So that class will be back. Mama Sydney will be teaching AP literature. She was teaching African literature. And so when we do AP literature, you can use the text, whatever text you would like. And in that particular test, you just have to really talk about a text of your choice. So it does not mean that we have to switch over to Euro literature. It will be the skills, the same skills that we would teach in an African literature class. You will get in AP literature. She will also be doing AP US history. That's based on attendance. That particular class, she's working with a collab. Again, we are working with collabs to fill in the holes. So that collab is going to give her a certain amount of students. So that class is tentative based on that collab coming through, to be transparent about that. I'm going to let Mama, this is a great place. Let me go back so I don't forget. Mama Erica, AP Biology. Can you tell us a little bit about the AP Biology?
Yes. Can you go ahead and let me in? I'm back at home and I'm trying to switch computers.
Oh, is it you in the waiting room? Wait, are you in this waiting room, Mama Erica? Okay, she can't. Oh, she's switching it now. Let me see. Okay, so let me look at Bible Crowd. Yes, yes. So I have AP Language, and Mama Sydney has AP Literature. So we're covered for that. And so getting back while we're waiting on Mama Erica, getting back to that, for those who are concerned about how it will translate, because I'm gonna let you know, it doesn't automatically translate to every college. There is, I mean, as far as the credits coming in, taking the place of, and there's a link that I can give to everyone, and I will give it to the scholars as they are applying. It'll tell you what colleges will take what. We know definitely community colleges will take the AP, but again, the major part of it, everyone, is that my concern is that the scholars are prepared. The scholars are prepared. And there has been for the last, I would say 10 years, because I was still in the public school, where college professors were concerned that they were not coming with the necessary research skills. I've seen it firsthand this past semester. So if nothing else, even if they do have to take those courses, they will definitely be prepared. They will definitely be prepared. That's correct. Again, not everybody will take everything, but I think, Baba Qual, the biggest thing that I'm emphasizing is the skills. African American Studies class will definitely teach you how to chunk, how to navigate your time. It will teach you how to work independently outside of the course. There were so many lessons, how to master a lot of materials. So unfortunately, we already know that's how we're done. You know, even in, I think one mama was saying she was in high school and they would take AP US history for the credit, a history credit, but not the African American studies. But again, it's for us, it's for the skills and it's for our knowledge. And it definitely prepares them to become that studious student if that is going to be their field. Yep. So that is unfortunately the case. All right, Mama Erica, AP Biology.
All right, thank you. I want to preface with saying this is a little bit from Each One Teach 10. So as Each One Teach 10 is a freedom school movement for our scholars, especially in the time that we're in. And it helps us to be able to be warrior against the people, policies, and practices that seek to oppress us, to be builders for our communities and our people, and to heal alienation and our broken stories. And so I want to say from that that the goal of each one teach 10 is to teach and train our scholars in education, not education for inclusion, education for power. And so in taking the in teaching AP biology, I am definitely keeping that in mind, and we are going to be incorporating our education for power because there's so many people that go into the science field, biology, or and go professionally or into medical field. And as African people, we encounter the same systemic issues, racism and oppression that 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 everyone else, just because you get your PhD or you have all of these research, publications behind your name, doesn't mean that you're, when you start doing um, research or creating solutions for our people, you're going to, you're going to hit oppression and resistance as well. So as we are learning AP Biology really goes into they've really shifted it over the last few years. But there's bioengineering and biogenetics, and there's a lot. There's been a lot of advancements, and so there's a lot of change. And so as we are going into AP biology and helping to prepare our scholars to pass the AP exam, we are also doing a side-by-side comparison of our science, because our science is not the science that is not necessarily the same as a science that takes I can say in my training, I've seen a lot, and we see how they use HeLa cells. They use Henrietta Lacks cells in almost all research, and all the advances that have happened have come from Henrietta Lacks cells. And our cells, our melanin is so powerful that is where the most of the modern advances in biology and biological sciences has come. So we're going to learn, because we need to learn our science, and we can pass these exams, and we still need to hold on to our mission. We're not trying to learn the science for inclusion. We can be, it'll help us get into the colleges, and we also want to train our children to keep up with our mission for our people. And so it is going to be, we will be using our knowledge of our science and the way that we do science, in addition to comparing it as we're learning AP biology. So that is our AP biology class. It will prepare them to take the AP test. And because this is Yayas Cultural Academy, we will also stay grounded in African, in our Africanness as scientists.
So again, you have the biology with labs, the hands-on, the everyday, and then the AP biology. Everybody not gonna be able to go in there and thinking.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a really good conversation with parents, because as Baba Qual said, it's rigorous, it's doable, it's rigorous, and yeah, it's doable and it's rigorous, and they're going to be more than prepared. So again, we're going to look at how we're going to see who is ready for AP biology, because we don't want the scholars to be frustrated, and we just
Right,
want
Mama Kemi.
that they're supported.
Yes, and they do say that you need to have biology one as a foundation. So one of the things I will be tweaking in Melanin Matters is to help include more of that foundational knowledge, so that scholars can be ready. So we will have more foundational knowledge. And then, of course, we have Mama Adia's classes. And so, I think they will have plenty of information. And it is very rigorous. It is very rigorous. So, and we know how to teach our people.
We do, we do, we do. So we ready. We ready, Baba Choir. We ready. We all been in Summer Institute 4-day trainings. And so we're ready to help them move to that next level. So I'm excited about that. All right, Mama Asha, tell us about AP Art and Design.
Jambo. All right. So basically, just a little introduction of myself. I am Mama Asha. I am a practicing artist and an art instructor. I'm based in Jamaica and I will be in the UK at times as well. So I'm between those two countries. And my class schedule will, where I put my time, it just works great for both time zones. So that's fine. So the time difference will not be a problem. I grew up within the arts. So both my parents, they met in art school, and so me growing up, art was always like a way of life for me. Surprisingly, I did not go to art school. I did environmental sciences, so I'm also an environmental biologist. Um, so it just all intertwines in my approach to teaching. And so in terms of what I am teaching this year, we are going to be focusing on African arts, indigenous arts, and of course it is with the AP curriculum. So as we've been saying before, we're using our approach. We know how to teach our people. And with the AP Art and Design course, we will be offering drawing, AP drawing, and AP 2D, which would be more like collage, and you can do painting, and like there's some flexibility there. So for AP Art and Design, they call it an exam, but really it's a portfolio that the students will be putting together over the school year. And that is for our high school scholars. The middle school scholars can be in the same class with the high school scholars. So, in home education, we always have varying ages together, and that really helps them to learn, because the older ones will like bounce off of the younger ones. The younger ones have their approach of learning, and it just meshes well with the older ones. So, there's a balance within the classroom. So the younger ones in middle school, they would be doing what would be considered a pre-AP course. So they'll get to practice the approaches to creating their portfolios when they get to the high school level. During the art and design AP course that I did last week, yeah, it seems so long now. It was so intense. We had to create a mini sustained investigation. That's what it is called. The portfolio that we're creating to submit to AP. It's a sustained investigation, they call it. It's a portfolio. So I will share the mini portfolio that I created, just to give you an idea of what exactly the students will be required to do. It's so many, but it really helps to give that kind of insight as to what's going on. So the children, the scholars, the artists, they are free to choose what area they are going to delve into for their project. And the aim is to create a body of work that they will be submitting as a portfolio. So my subject that I chose, and this is the idea planning phase. is how popular culture has changed the longevity of Jankunu traditions in Jamaica. Jankunu is an African art form that has been preserved within the Caribbean. So basically, in your idea development, you would explain why you chose this topic, why is it important to you, and what materials you want to use, and how you want to develop this idea. We also focus on the design principles and elements of art within the course, so they get to refine their techniques within the process. So you're refining the techniques alongside using those techniques to express your message through the art. This is where I just explain why I chose Junkuno. So the inquiry is like it's like what you call it. If you were going to do research, what is your research proposal? So this is like a research proposal in a sense. So Junkuno was an art celebratory experience that would be practiced by the Africans that were in Jamaica, and this was also practiced in the southern states, in the Bahamas, in Belize, a few of our, people in the diaspora. It was the one time a year where they got to express themselves and to just be free, dance, sing, play drums, and just venerate the ancestors or ancestors. Now, my approach to this is my artwork should show how is our popular culture now, example, having Santa Claus taking away the attention from our indigenous traditions. In the process, we need to focus on how we're going to create synthesis through the materials that we choose to use. So students are free to choose what materials they would like to explore. It's a very explorative kind of experience where they're going to, choose some materials that they probably haven't used before, just build their technique and skill throughout the process. As I said, we already spoke about the idea. How is popular culture taken away from our traditional art forms? And the processes would speak to what kind of design principles and elements of art that we're going to be using within the artwork. The inquiry now is that cohesive statement, creating a visual story in pastel and graphite focused on the importance of dying cultural traditions in Jamaica through the use of value, color, balance, and emphasis. So in the process, students will have to record their creative process, like from sketching to trying different materials and different elements and principles of design and stuff. So that is something that there's also rules on how AI is acceptable, like in terms of using it acceptably. It was in previous years, it was just no AI at all. No, they're like little hints where, okay, you can probably use AI in your very, very early stages just to get some visuals of your idea. So, but we'll definitely ensure that the students understand fully how AI is allowed to be used within your creative process. And as Mama Kemi says, AI is not the artificial intelligence, it's the African intelligence. So we keep into that, yes. Some more, what you call it? This is where I'm doing some, what you call it? Experimentation, yes. Sorry, I haven't eaten yet. Okay, so there are guiding questions to help the students put their ideas together. And this is one of the more challenging parts of the project, where the children now have to verbalize what it is that they're putting together and why. But because we have our courses that deal with like literacy and how to express ourselves, and we have so many opportunities where we present to our community because we're very community based. We're always coming together. We're doing our demonstrations where the children are now able to speak to. I've been working on this, and um this is what I have. Like no, we're getting feedback from the community. So I feel like this part of the process is not going to be challenging for our students because it's somewhere we that's just our way of life. We just communicate. Like that's just us, yes. So yes, we'll support them on showing that process. Now this is just an overall overview of what happened within the creative process from the idea, getting reference photos and stuff. In this I show where I have one of the artists that I was inspired by, Richard Nato, with his Jankuno series, um, with the with the image of Santa Claus. I wanted to show that he's like a bandit. He's taking the attention, taking the resources of our community away from our traditional practices and now putting it to this popular culture practice that we don't have any indigenous ties to. And this is the final piece. Basically with the final piece, this is where the student now has a chance to lay out their artwork, and just it would be like an exhibition style piece where you put the size of your work, the materials you use, and basically the idea behind the artwork. So it would more be like somewhat like a poem that goes along with the artwork. And I just call it a poem because it's I feel like the artwork is telling a story. So it's like a story or a poem, some kind of translation from the artist of what they created. So this is just a mini version of what the artist will be creating, our artist colors. And it's not one art piece. We're going to be creating about 10 to 15 pieces throughout the year. And we're going to use all those pieces to put their portfolios together with all the support that they need. Yes, so that's the end of, oh yeah, the last one is next steps. So there's always the encouragement to grow and learn in the process. So what you're going to focus on next. So for me, I write, there are 12 Jankuno characters, and each of them have a different deep meaning within them. And I would like to create artwork to signify that meaning for each one of those characters. My second idea would be to put visuals to some Jamaican folk stories and folk songs, because we have it verbally, but some of them we don't really have a visual of them. So those are the two areas of like what's next, how am I continuously developing, and this is what we always encourage within our student body. We're always learning, or our teachers, we're always learning. So yes, that is it from me.
You did that already after your institute? You went through a whole project after your institute. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so that is AP Arts. Mama Imani will be going to her AP Business and Finance seminar next week. So she'll be more prepared to tell or share with the community what personal business and personal finance will be. Some of the things they'll cover is marketing, which overlaps with a little bit of what I've done in their class, in our English classes, personal saving, borrowing, business finance, and accounting. So, Mama Imani, that's going to be the whole career and college prep class. Huh?
Okay.
So you've eliminated a class for me.
What's her name? Sasha?
Who?
Sasha?
Asha.
Asha.
Are
ASHA.
y'all talking to us, Shabazz family?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mo,
wait a
mo,
minute. Wait a
mo.
minute. She said something.
Are y'all talking to us, Shabazz
Oh, I didn't
family?
know. I didn't know that I was on. Sorry.
All
Mo.
right, so what for Mama
Bo, bo,
Asha?
bo, bo.
Okay, so Mama Imani, I'm looking at the goals of personal business and finance, and that eliminates one class that I can take off my calendar to teach. And so, again, we'll collect and collab on that because one of the courses that we're going to have is career and college prep. And so a lot of what Mommy Imani will cover career and college prep, and then we'll kind of link a version of that to the My Pathway Forward so that juniors and seniors can be ready. So I'll network with her, collab with her, so that they leave with the career and college prep. A cover letter, resume, a personal statement. And so that'll connect with everything she's doing in business and finance, management strategy, personal goals, budgeting. So our goals, the junior and senior levels, they will have a full package of what they need to move forward. So Mama Imani, did you want to add anything really quickly about the business, personal finance? I know you didn't have your 30 hours of training that we all had to go through yet.
I'm just as with Mama Erica, just making sure that it is of course African centered, and um, that we talk about uh, some of the stories. I mean, not that we infuse our story, that we talk about. And then part of it, that's why I was kind of like I didn't want to speak too much, because I didn't see in the course that it talked about cooperatives. I didn't see in the course that it talked necessarily about um, uh, what am I trying to say? Not banks, but uh, how we started our own banks. Do you know what I'm saying? Like so that's why I'm kind of, I just want to hold it close to me right now and go
Yeah.
through and see what they have to say,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not taking what they have. I'm making it ours, so
Yeah.
that it's
Mo, mo, mo.
um you know, like Mama Asha, you know, t- creating art, and art that heals us, and art that is relevant to us and to, our loved ones, our ancestors, our culture. So
Okay.
I just want to
So
make sure
yeah,
that I don't speak too soon, too
I
early.
understand. Mo, 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 mo,
Imo
mo.
Asante.
Okay. So that is personal finance, and you and I will work together since that does cross with the junior and senior support of really being ready. And the last class the last AP class is the class that's needed to get the diploma, and it's called the AP seminar. That's the newest classes that I will be teaching. What I'm excited about AP seminar is it covers all of the general skills that they would need to support the other AP classes. So I'm super duper excited about that. In that particular class, we would see, I don't have a beautiful graphic like Mama Asha. I was still fresh out of my class yesterday. But what we will do is for the first part of what we have, the first part of the year, September or August through December, we'll talk about how we write strategically, how we read strategically, how we pull out the things to make an argument. They will have group work that they need to do. They will just really do an investigation and explore um, collegiate level thinking. And so we got to choose our own theme. My theme for this is culture and traditions. So we will be dissecting, so I need everyone's help. We will be dissecting articles, videos, blogs, all kinds of things for inquiry, for scholarly inquiry. So again, from this standpoint of September through December, we'll do all the things that I normally do with English, but we're going to step it up so that we're really breaking down a claim. How do we pull out evidence? And so those type of things are just supporting them, and we'll do it through the lens of how cultural practices affirm and destroy identity. We'll take 2 weeks to do that, go over that, read articles, talk about it, have discussions. How does art mirror life? How does the cultivation of good character strengthen communities? In what ways does the exclusion of women from historical accounts shape cultural understanding and collective memory? How does social media affect the wholeness and preservation of sacred cultural practices? So we look at some of the things. We see a lot of people doing rituals online and sharing rituals online. And so what does that do for the practice? We'll talk about that. How do cultural practices affect environmental stewardship? So that sounds like we're going a little bit into the land. How do systems of exchange contribute to disenfranchisement in cultural communities? So we'll explore like this exchange system. When we go places, $20 is like thousands of CFI and all the things. We'll talk about that. And then how do diasporic cultural traditions demonstrate scientific knowledge and innovations across generations? So we'll do that. How is it that we have these practices, even with the Dogon and the stars and different things like that? How does that cross over into what they're doing now in science, even herbology? So we're going to explore these activities, these topics from September to December. We're going to break them down, bring out the scholarship. Then in January, scholars will choose one of their projects. So our assessment goes from January to May. So scholars will choose a topic. They will have to do a paper on that topic, probably about a 5 to 6 page paper on that topic. Then they will come together with a group to present. They'll put all their research together. Then they'll present it. That's the second part of the test. Then College Board will release they call a STEM pack, group of different articles and different things like that. Then scholars will have to do another research paper on that, and then they will do an individual presentation and finally take their test in May. So this course is skill heavy in the first part, which is normal skills that they would need. So we will do it while also affirming and really thinking about us in the diaspora. And then January through May, they get to show their skills. So I'm really confident that these scholars will do well in this. And again, this will be equivalent to English 101. So I'm very, very, very excited about the seminar class. I'm very excited about adding the seminar class this year. And I think that the scholars will do an amazing job with it. And again, y'all, I need resources. I need all kinds of resources. So I will share that graphic. And if anyone can add to it, I would absolutely love it. So that is, y'all, that is our AP run. That is our AP run for everything that we have to get the AP diploma. And that's all of our general classes for high school, middle school, lower and upper elementary. I'm going to ask y'all a question one moment. Y'all may need some time to think. Um, yeah, may need some time to think about what classes or what questions that you have. So in a few moments, I'm going to ask, do y'all want me to do a breakout room with any of the instructors for additional questions? Or are y'all comfortable just kind of reaching out or doing just general questions here? So I'm putting that here. I'll put the three options in the chat in a moment. I want to make sure that I have covered. I talked to you about mental math and robotics. That's going to happen with Baba Mugwagwa. I shared with y'all the video for the DIY basic art class or foundational art class for character, drawing Black characters that Abiona had. I talked to you all about the AP Capstone Diploma. The career and college pathway will cross with what Mama Imani is doing in business and finance. So I'll work with her to make sure that all juniors and seniors have a complete pack that they can take for graduation and as well as college tours. In a moment, I'm going to ask Mama Erica if she wanted to say anything else about each one, Teach 10. Know that we have transcript services available and post high school transition plans. So we can start those conversations early if anyone needs help. So the last two people I'm going to check in with while I put this information, your options in the chat, is Mama Adia. Are you doing stories and stretch? And then Mama Erica, is there anything about each one teach 10 that we did not cover? So my last two educators, check in with me.
Audience coming.
All right. So while she's coming, Mama Erica, is there anything about each one teach 10 that you needed to share?
Yes, I can share about each one teach 10. Unless Mama Adia, are you ready? Or do you want me to go ahead and share about each one teach 10?
I can do it because it's fast, if you don't
Okay,
mind. Thank you, Mama.
sure.
Okay. Thank you. It's Saturday. We're running around doing stuff in the house. It was down to like, yeah, Kemi's calling you. I had no idea. So forgive me. The story and stretch is a class that integrates both movement and breath with folklore. So we do many different stories of folklore. We do the pourquoi tales that are explaining why things exist. Going through Anansi, Ijapa, we do Virginia Hamilton stories. There's a lot of different stories, and then looking at archetypes and the stories that continue to show up over and over again, looking at folklore connected to different places throughout the diaspora and um, connecting to even Anansi's evolution or the changes. I don't know if evolution is the proper word, but the changes that he undergoes from one culture to the next. Him being Aunt Nancy, him being Anansi, him being Spider-Man, all the different things, and even how he shows up in different stories as a boy, as a Spider-Man, as a man, as an old man, and then connecting that to movement and breath. And so we discuss those stories. It gives us a chance to introduce it to the children.
All right, close us out, Mama Erica, and then everyone else. I'm putting this question in the chat. Let me know.
Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of share a little bit about each one teach 10. I have a little bit of a some slides that you can see. And so it is designed primarily for upper middle school, so 8th grade through 12th grade, 13 through 19. And so the goal of each one teach 10 is to really help prepare our children to have a mission for our people and our community. And so there's 3 R's: rescuing our children and youth. And so a lot of the education today is education helping prepare our children to serve the oppressive community. And so we want to rescue our children from that. I actually just got an article today, and I'm gonna I don't let's see, I don't think I can share it on screen, but I did take a screenshot, and it is I live in Houston, and so our Houston school district, HISD, is definitely under attack. And one of the so there's new curriculum that has been written, and then a recent curriculum actually yesterday was passed. It's called Blue Bonnet, which is a Christian curriculum, and that is passed for all of Houston ISD. And one of the authors has written, he's actually on the State Board of Education. His name is William Bennett, and he has a literary list. And his literary in one of his remarks he talks about is I do know that it's true that if you want to reduce crime, you could. If that were your sole purpose, you could abort every Black baby in this country and your crime rate would go down. Now, this comes from the Texas State Board of Education. Um, and so we are under attack. And each one teach 10 is for us to help counter that attack. Because even if we homeschool our children, even if we pull our children out of these systems, their neighbors, when they grow up, their college classmates are going to be students that grew up in this system. The people that they work with and pass along on the street are going to be students that they grew up with in the system. So we want to rescue our children and our youth. We also want to reshape ourselves because of the wounds of oppression. And we also want to remold our education. As I said, we need education for power and not education for inclusion. So that's what Each One Teach 10. It's bringing back the Each One Teach One movement, but we are, needing, and because we have online and so many other opportunities, we can reach more. So it's Each One Teach 10. I'm going to just name our classes real quick. The first, these are not in any particular order. The Indomitable African Gullah and Black Seminole Wars. This is the 500-year war. Even though it has 26 to 1865, it goes all the way into the present. Araminta, the warrior, healer, builder story. And then our economic nationalism. And this is Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, also known as Tulsa's Black Wall Street. And we talk about how it wasn't a massacre. And so we talk about that economic nationalism. Then we have the Melanin Healing Science. We have our Sankofa Math, Healing Alienation, Reclaiming Our Map. And then we have within the Melanin Healing Science, or in conjunction with it, the 7 killers. And so helping our children prepare for these 7 killers that our society has created, this society has created for our demise: heart disease, cancer, kidney disease, high blood pressure, stroke, high cholesterol, and diabetes. So, and then the Family Lore Project, Healing Our Broken Stories. And this is going back and becoming jollies for our families and our communities through gathering our people's stories and our family stories. Story Healing Power is healing our own stories. And then Red Gold is it's inspired by Aikwe Armaz, the healers, and learning the healing process. And so the Each One Teach 10 is designed to meet once a week. It is not to replace a curriculum. It is actually a supplement. And we don't cover all of them all at one time. We'll cover one class, one subject at a time. And my recommendation for Yayas is to require family involvement. So, most of our classes we're sending our students to school. Each One Teach 10 is a family movement. And so I would encourage us to require family involvement in this movement, so that there's parent training and there's conversations that our children will have with their families about the things that are going on today as it applies to the Each One Teach 10 movement. And does anyone have any questions? Okay.
Y'all. Oh, how is that job for a starting lineup? How is that for a starting lineup? So now we're taking all of this and putting it, let's say, taking the show on the road. I'll be reaching out to network and collab with a lot of other co-ops and collabs to say what we have, y'all. So again, final comments, questions. That's everything, y'all. And I ask the questions. Do y'all need to sit and think? Do you need a breakout room? Talk to me. This is the time. Talk to me before we wrap up for today. Yes, Mama Adia.
I was delinquent. I was running around. Is Sewa Sydney's class also an AP course? Wait, the literature course, is that also an AP course? Okay.
Her class
Okay.
is the AP course.
Okay, we'll do boy.
Okay. Any other questions? Talk to me. I need to sit and think. You need breakout rooms. Talk to me, y'all, before I let y'all
The
go up out of here. Hmm.
question about the AP diploma. How many AP classes do you need to take to get the AP diploma?
Okay, so if there's a diploma and there's a certificate, there is for the certificate, you just take AP seminar and research. That's 2 classes. And then I think you'll be in a unique position because he graduates next year, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll have to talk and we'll probably have to
Okay.
talk with him as well. So let's set up a time to talk in July. To get the AP diploma, you would take AP seminar, AP research, in any 4 AP classes throughout your high school career. And of course, the test you can take anytime, anytime. So it's a total of 6 classes. But let's talk. Let's talk when you, he, and I can get together and let's talk.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. Any other questions, y'all?
Were the times posted on the Google sheet that you shared? The
No,
times
but
of the classes?
it will be July 15th. Now we have to put all of our beautiful minds together. And last year it worked out, but some of these classes can't overlap because no one is taking, even though they do have high schools that every class is an AP class. I'm not recommending that. So we're going to now work in groups, work in teams, elementary, middle, high school, AP, and we're going to spend the next 15 days, or we got 18 days, putting our beautiful brains together to present the times. And it will be on that sheet. So bookmark that sheet. Everything will be on that sheet, and then we will translate it into the visual that we had last year as well. So people can sort and do everything they need to get their schedules together. So July 15th. Any other
That's
questions?
that's it.
Koto pues. All right. So no more questions. That is it. Y'all, again, please hold on to this sheet. I hope everyone still has the sheet. I'm going to pull it up. This sheet is going to be where I do all of the updates throughout the summer. All of the updates will be here throughout the summer. If there's a link that you need to have, you will have it here. When we get down here, as last year, we're going to start putting the times here. And then when I create the visual chart of all the schedules, I'm going to link it up here. All right. So again, you have the overview. If you just want to look at all of the classes, everything is here. If you're ready to move into action and start pre-selecting your courses, you can do that. What will happen is when you pre-select, I will send your information to the appropriate educator and they will then reach out. Additionally, everybody has the educator's contact information here. And if it's something you don't see, there's a survey. So all of that is there. I'm looking at any. Okay. Mama Erica, you have a question? Is that? Yeah, I think that was yours. Yeah. From Mama
Yes.
Najay. Okay. Yes.
So each one teach 10 is ages 13 and up. We are it is a movement where you can create your own circles as well. And our the I also am part of a virtual circle called Kepler Shule. So the information I showed you was from our Kepler Shule page, which includes Mama Sydney as well, and some former Aya educational teachers. And we we are working because we've had several families request younger students, and so we are working on that. It's not fully developed, but we are working to allow the opportunity for ages 13 and under to participate in a circle, and it'll definitely look different than the 13 and above.
Okay. All
So
right.
we already have a teacher, Mama Gina, who is also familiar with all of Yay Academy's, most of Yay Academy's educators, and she will be helping with the younger cohort.
Okay.
Asante.
All right.
Yo,
So,
my Paucho, Mama
mm-hmm.
Erica. Um, sort of each one teach 10. Help me just grasp it. It's like an ongoing thing. There's like no registration or is there? You know, is some specific entry point. Like it starts in the fall or it starts it's broken up in semesters. How does that work? And it's for adults as well, correct?
It is adults as well. There are an adult portion as well. It is a movement. So each one teach 10 is bringing back freedom schools, which is an ongoing thing. So wherever the scholars jump in, now here at Yayas, of course, we have our school start dates. So it's easier if if they're joining us with their fellow students, then it's easier for them to start at the beginning of the school year. However, each one teach 10 as a movement is ongoing, and wherever we are, when you find out about it and you're ready to join the movement and the mission of reclaiming our youth and even ourselves, then that's where you start, and it'll wrap back around. You'll come back around, at some point in time. The foundation is warrior healers and builders. So everything, just like, for example, we start with the Araminta story, and we start listening to a poem put into a song, "Honey, I Love," and they use the word
Yeah.
slave. Harriet Tubman didn't come to be no slave, and we already, we change in that song. We changed the word to captive because we don't use that word, and
Right.
we lay those foundations. And we're always reemphasizing how we can take back our power through our words, and we talk about false memories that are planted, and all of those things. So it works throughout the entire, all of the nine lessons. So it's
Yeah.
wrapped at read throughout. So wherever you
Right. So
start.
yeah, these are the things that Baba Tessa and Mama Field was offering as I was the part to well transition.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, got you. No, I was just that because I'm going through this training initiation and it takes up all my time. But after July of next year, I graduate, so to speak. So I just want to know hey I have more available time. So I just wondered how can I jump in, but we pretty much broke it down. That's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, so parents can join and actually go through the lessons as well, or adults through specific adult, not just as parents, but as adults can go through that, and have meet twice a month with Baba Wakesa and Mama Afia, the administrators of each one teach 10, with other adults. So yes.
All right, y'all. Oh, does anybody know the AP class that Baba McGuaga went to the Institute for?
I don't know if there's a pre-calculus. I'm going to say there's not a pre-calculus. It's
Okay.
either calculus or pre-calculus.
All right, we'll have to ask. Okay. So Baba Quao, you may be able to reach out because I couldn't remember which AP and because I didn't get the audit form yet. So yeah,
Yep.
so it may be one of those. So we'll check into that and then let you know.
Okay, my docs. Hey, so Bubba, but he's just not here today.
He's not here today. Yeah, he's
Okay,
teaching.
gotcha. And he's
Definitely.
offering, and I think I heard you say he is offering algebra too. My docs.
We
All
just
right,
didn't
cool.
have enough last year. So he has,
Yeah,
yeah, the same three by our robotics, and then we'll find out what AP class.
gotcha.
Okay. All right.
Do it.
So y'all, that's it. We scholarship, culture, identity. We I'm excited for our scholars going forward. They're gonna be ready. We ready. Okay, I'm calm down, calm down. Oh, I just love y'all so much. I love working with y'all. I'm gonna step my game up. Mama Adia, Mama Asha, Mama Erica. What? I love it, y'all. So thank y'all for the power 2 hours. Whatever you gotta do, laundry day, cooking outside, taking a nap, movie day. Continue again. You have this. I will send the link out for this recording. July 15th. We promise, promise, promise. You will have a schedule. Okay. We just had to make sure everybody got through the training. Everybody was doing what they needed to do. Starting with each one teach 10. And so now we're ready, y'all. We're ready to really have our scholars show up the best of themselves despite everything that's going on. That's the goal. They're going to show up ready, powerful, proficient, and affirmed. All right. So thank y'all so much. Y'all know how to reach me. Y'all know how to reach the instructors. Stay on that sheet that you have. When you're ready to put everything into action, go ahead and hit submit. And then I will have the scholars reach out to you. Those who are returning, the process is a lot simpler this year. Last year, I didn't know what to prepare for, so I prepared for everything. So now that I know how everything is going to flow, the process is simpler. So I say Madasi, Modupwe, Eshepupo, Asante Sana, and Giyabonga. What else I miss? What am I missing? What else? Did I say them all? How do we say it? Is it patois? How do we say thing? Is there a special word, Mama Asha? Just if thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I take it. I take it. I'm gonna have to add that. Thank you. I like that. I like it. All right. I love y'all. I'm excited. Educators will be in touch. Start thinking about your schedule, and I'm gonna start to promote and send this out. And this is the drum call, y'all. So now we have the scholars and families that we're gonna bring in for the 2026-2027 school year, parents, community members. Love y'all. We want the best for y'all scholars, and they gonna be right and ready. Odabo, everyone. Love
I enjoy when
y'all.
you talk and dance.
Oh,
I love it. I love it.
Bye, Harry.
gosh.
Asante sana kwa